What's up, everybody? It's Monday night. It's 9:30. Means it's Bridgeside Sports Live time. I'm your host, Phil Cagliostro, and as always, to my left, Mike Bukowski.
What's
rocking the Islander jersey.
That's right, kid.
Oh, yeah. And the Mr. Met just fell. And we got on the other end of the table, we got Chris, the analyst, Venture.
What's up? What's up? It's your boy.
I'm just waiting for you to disappear, but
I had to do it. I haven't done it in like 3 weeks.
And behind the scenes, as always, we got the producer running the show, Donnie Borst. Give him a little point, Donnie.
What's up, killer? What up, DB?
No point to the camera. Oh, there it is. Okay, all right. Well, we're gonna get right into it. We got a lot to talk about, as always. We're gonna get our sports in 10 going, so I can get the clock going. I'm waiting for the music. All right, there it is. We got the clock. Let's start. All right, Mike. Oh. Very disappointing. We got this weekend the Yankees bowed out of the playoffs when they were looking really good. I actually went to Game 5. It was awesome. The house was rocking.
Yeah.
What happened to the Yankees when they went back to Houston?
The hitting, man. I mean, when you scored 3 runs in 4 games at the other team's ballpark, I mean, that tells you all you need to know. Too many strikeouts. We talked about it before. It's kind of making me rethink. Everybody's talking about this new age where it was just everything's home runs. And, strikeouts, you just can't piece together big innings. Anything that we did was really just we were relying on a home run or, a walk and a double. It was just not enough hitting.
Real quick, but the biggest disappointment was that at home, that's all they did. 2-out hits. They went to Houston, all they did was strike out.
Well, I think a big deal. No. They didn't get to Houston early in those games in Houston. Yeah. Every game, it was nothing in the 4th inning. On the road, you got to get an early run so you're ahead, and the crowd kind of gets taken out of it. They didn't do that.
Yeah. Chris.
Yeah.
What do the Yankees need to do to take the next step to get to the World Series? Or do they have to do anything? Do you think that they just need to keep growing?
Well, I mean, I think that, there's a couple of things here and there they could upgrade, like third base.
All right.
I think third base they need to upgrade. And you got Gleyber waiting in the wings. I know he's hurt. He got a bad injury at the end of this year, so we don't know how he's going to come back. But he could be the key piece that you put there. Didi's rock solid at short. You got Castro at second. I like Castro. I'll keep him there. And then first base, Bird. We didn't have Bird all year. We could have been a lot better maybe if Bird played the whole season, too. You have those 2 pieces at that hot corner because we were a problem there all year. Maybe this is, the extra we need to take the next step.
With all those guys coming, you're right, for a full healthy with those guys. But the biggest thing I think going to next year is the status of Girardi. So, Mike, I'm going to ask you, will he be back? And do you think he should be back?
So, I'm going to ask, do I think he should be first? And as much as, he catches a lot, he definitely should be back if he wants to be. I think that first of all, any other team, most teams in the league would be happy to snatch him up. He's made a lot from some pretty crappy Yankee teams in years past. I mean, we haven't been under 500 in how many years?
Yeah, since 92.
Yeah, so, I mean, and we haven't been real good over the last, 5 years or so. So, I think he's really done a great job. The only thing is now you have this new crop of guys. I don't know exactly how they mesh together, but he definitely deserves to be here a couple more years.
So he should be back. Will he be back?
I think he will be back. Yes.
All right. So let's now listen to the teams that won. Unfortunately, it wasn't the Yankees. Now you got 2 100-win teams in the World Series this year. Chris, do you think this has the makings?
When was the last time that happened?
I know. Well, we get a stat on it. I'm not 100% sure.
Can we get Elias Sports Bureau on that?
But Chris, do you think this has the makings of a really great World Series?
I think it could be, but I also think it could be a blowout in the Dodgers' favor.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah, I think they could possibly, only lose maybe 1 game in this World Series. I love that 1-2 punch of Kershaw and Darvish, unless Kershaw doesn't pitch well. But his last 2 starts, he pitched good against the Cubs. So I think that he's, starting to roll a little bit and getting comfortable in the playoffs, and this might be the end right here.
Good. I'm glad you brought up the pitching. I was asked Mike. That's their strength, and Houston's strength is the hitting. Do you think the Dodgers can shut down Houston's hitting?
Yeah, well, I mean, you saw the Yankees pitching pretty much shut down the Astros. So, I mean, the Dodgers pitching is way better than the Yankees. It's a stacked rotation. Darvish, I mean, you're looking at the 2 best trades at the trade deadline between Verlander and Darvish. They were both amazing additions that got, it was exactly how they wanted. These were the guys that were going to put them into the World Series. And, I mean, I think if the Astros are going to win this, they're going to at least make it a series. They're going to have Verlander do the same type of thing as he did in the ALCS, and then you're also going to need some of these other hitters to step up. You might need to see Reddick hit a couple homers or something.
Yeah, Reddick's their weakest spot. I think, in that lineup. That lineup is stacked. But I'll ask you guys real quick who are your winners. Who do you got winning? Chris, I'll go to you first.
Dodgers in 5.
Mike?
Dodgers in... I'm going to say Dodgers in 6.
I'll kick it to Donnie, too.
Dodgers in 5.
Well, I'm going to go Houston in 7, then.
You know, another thing about the Dodgers is...
Nice.
No, I like that.
I like that, too.
Another thing about the Dodgers is they've been... You know, it's such a weird season. They were so good... Then they one of the worst teams in the league for 3 weeks out of nowhere. So they're obviously a very streaky team that's very streaky again. That they're on a winning streak right now. So they're playing great baseball.
But as much as I like to talk about baseball, we'll get back to next week. We got to switch up to football now. So we had a couple.
Must we?
We had a couple. I don't think there were as many upsets this week, but a one game, Mike. As a local team, how did the Jets possibly lose that game against the Dolphins?
Yeah, you know, I watched almost the whole game for some reason. I'm not sure why, but you know, I was just laying on the couch and it was an interesting game. It was a close game, went down to the wire. You know, I thought the Jets had it, and I started thinking, wow, this team actually might make a push. And then it's just like, all right, that's the Jets I know. They really just completely blew the game. And I texted Donnie earlier in the game. He made McCown made an amazing touchdown pass first quarter, and I'm like, this guy's pretty good. And then you see in the fourth quarter, he just makes a pass that you cannot make, and it costs him the game.
That's horrendous.
Yeah, the Jets gave everyone hope again because they played well against the Patriots, but then Matt Moore just came in, and I think Jake Hitler's done with football. Go back to announcing.
I've been saying this for a while. I like Matt Moore. I think he's actually a very good quarterback.
Cutler's done.
I've said that before.
And let's not forget that
years ago, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
and he did a good job for Tannehill when he was hurt last year, and they made the playoffs.
For some reason, they just don't like him enough. I don't know why.
Cutler's done. Chris, on the Sunday night game, the Patriots really romped the Falcons. The Falcons have been looking bad. But do you think the Patriots defense, could this be the start of it turning around? You especially have been critical of how bad they are. They look pretty good.
That one game, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to say that this is something that's going to turn it around. I just think this is more product of the Falcons being a complete mess on offense when it comes to coaching.
Okay, you think it was more of that?
Sarkisian is, I think, pretty awful. I saw some calls last night, multiple calls that were really bad, and it was just like, I don't understand this team. The whole season they're not throwing to Julio. Now they threw to Julio a little more, but still, it's like they're not using their team the right way. They have so many weapons. This team should be scoring points, especially against the Patriots. The Patriots don't become a great defense overnight. That doesn't happen.
Well, that's why I thought this could be a jumping point for the Patriots. The Falcons are
maybe
a good offense, and
one week
kind of held them down.
That's what exactly.
They gave up 300 yards to the Jets the week before.
But the Jets, look at the Jets. The Jets keep doing good.
Right.
Just talk to
McCown.
But Chris, I'll stick with you. The most exciting game of the weekend, we just talked about it, wasn't the weekend, it was on Thursday. The Raiders and Chiefs had some great games.
31-30.
It's kind of throwing the AFC in general all up. Can the Raiders make a run now? They lost 4 straight. They won at the buzzer, and now they're 3-4. Can they make a run? Is this time for them?
Yeah, I feel like everybody was jumping off the Raiders bandwagon. Obviously, when Carr was hurt and everything, and Cooper was playing terrible. But it's like, okay, because Carr is out and Cooper wasn't playing well. Yeah. That's why they're not doing well. I mean, their defense isn't very good.
Carr only missed 1 game.
Well, he got hurt in one game, then missed the game. So, that's 2 games. That's big. And then you play a good team, a great team, one of basically the best team probably you could say at this point, and they beat them. I know they give up a lot of points, but they're going to give up a lot of points. Yeah. So when Carr's there and healthy, this team could be really good. And Cooper shows his ability in that game with 11 catches, 210 yards. Obviously, he had problems before he was dropping passes, but this shows you what this team can do. So when they're firing on all cylinders, they could beat a lot of teams. I think they're still a playoff team.
I agree. I agree, and I think the Raiders are going to move on. But we're going to move on to the NBA. The NBA just started, and I think the biggest shocking news is the Warriors. They're 1-2. Obviously, they're still at the top. But Mike, was there anything in these games that might be little pieces of kryptonite to the team that's really Superman?
Well, I mean, I was watching. I wouldn't be too worried yet at all.
Not worried.
Yeah. No, but I think one thing that I saw from the last couple of games is that Gasol went off against them in Memphis, and then Cousins went off against them.
The big men?
So the big men, the center position, I mean, obviously, those are 2 very good players, but I think they both had over 30 points and like 15 rebounds. So they both... that's something that they're going to... Is Pachulia really the man in the middle?
That has been a little bit of weakness for them, if they could have any.
Yeah, that's their weakness, definitely.
To go to individual players, Chris, how good did the Greek Freak look this week?
The Greek Freak is unbelievable.
I think said Bucks last week.
Yeah, I mean, It's not just him, though. I mean, there's other pieces within that team that could help them become.
Him
and especially that the East is so weak. I mean, you got him. You're talking about like a LeBron type guy. I'm not going to say he's LeBron because you can't do that, but I'm going to say he's that type of guy who could do everything: rebounds, assists. He facilitates, he does everything well. He can play any position: point guard, shooting guard, small forward. Doesn't matter. Yeah. The guy's unbelievable. So. I mean, there's nothing bad you could say about the Bucks right now because they have a guy like that. When you have a guy like that, it's all the difference in the world in basketball.
And he'll be in talks for MVP, I think, at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Without a Mike, last 30 seconds, we're going to leave it to the Knicks.
Oh, yes, please.
First 2 games, anything encouraging you see that makes you want to keep watching?
Let's think. Well, Porzingis looks like he's willing to take that step to be the guy. And he's going to shoot a lot more, which I'm very happy with. He's going to have games where he's shooting 20 times a game, which is great. Here's the big news now. They're talking about Bledsoe wants out of Phoenix.
Yeah.
So can they pull some kind of a deal? They're interested. We'll see.
Wow, that was perfect.
Yeah, I was looking at the clock.
The clock, everything right in the ding. Perfect, guys. That was Sports in 10. I think it was very good. We're going to move on now to Are You Kidding Me? I think the clock has to reset. We got our weekly Are You Kidding Me? I believe... We have a fan one.
A fan? Are you kidding?
Donnie's giving me the little point. There we go. The clock's up. All right, Donnie, let's hear it. Oh.
Paulie?
We got it?
I guess we...
Oh.
Paul? Control room?
No, Paul doesn't have it. All right. Well, we're going to go with one. We thought it was from Mark. I'm going to give you one from Mark. I thought Mark was going to be able...
we were looking for.
I thought Mark was going to be able to say it on the air, but it's all right. We got
Maybe
from
he's in
Mark
the bathroom or
Liptis.
something.
We got from Brooklyn, Mark Liptis. He said the Packers are still going to be able to make the playoffs without Rodgers, and that Rodgers is going to come back at the last week of the season and lead them to the Super Bowl.
Wow.
So let's debate this. Are you kidding me? Guys, here's the clock now.
A real homer, huh?
Reset.
How many clocks we got going on?
now we got the clock. All right, let's do it. So, what do you guys think?
All right, so first of all, Rodgers, what was the news this week? The doctor said that he could start throwing
within 6 weeks. That would be a very quick timetable. I'm not going to rule it out impossible, but he would definitely be well ahead of schedule.
But does that mean that he's game action, game ready?
From what I read, he might be able to start throwing in 6 weeks.
So how many weeks after that before he can take the field?
Yeah, exactly.
And he's going to have all kinds of stuff hanging off his body. I'm sure.
I would. We're talking about a fast clock to even get to 6
now
weeks.
8 weeks.
So
we're talking about week 15. So we're talking about
16,
we're talking about maybe him last week of the season, last 2 weeks of the season.
I still think it's unlikely, but I guess it's possible. I mean, they're giving it a quick timetable. Well, I think it's unlikely, but
they're going to decide on. It's all going to depend on what their record is at that point too.
That's the key. Now, I think that's the biggest thing in the Are You Kidding Me?
Yeah.
I think the
record.
Are you kidding me of it? Is
are they going to be good? Yeah.
The Packers making the playoffs.
Well, what's their record now?
They're
3-4.
I want to say they're 4-3.
Are they 4-3?
4-3.
Yeah.
Okay. So realistically, they can get in the playoffs at 9-7.
I don't think I'm trying to think 9-7.
Yeah, the NFC's not that great.
The NFC's not.
Could, yeah.
But I don't think they could make it to 9-7.
All right,
that means they have to go 5-4. I don't know if they could be above 500 for the rest of the season.
I'm not sure
Rodgers,
either. I mean,
it depends on who they play. Too.
That's a lot.
It didn't look super encouraging. But
they got to face the Vikings again. Hot. The Bears look all right all of a sudden.
On defense, yeah.
Well, that's all they need
Trubisky
to do. All they need, if your defense is shutting them down, the Packers.
Right.
Packers can't do anything on offense.
That's how big Rodgers is. Like the Packers went from like a powerhouse, a complete powerhouse, offensively, especially to nothing offensively. How do you go from, it's like going from 100 to 0.
And you know what the sad thing is that it seems like they might have actually finally found a running back who can run the ball, and Aaron Jones.
Yeah, I'm a little hesitant to.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. But now you don't even have Rodgers to really see if this kid could do something.
Yeah, but you know what? If Rodgers was on the field, they wouldn't be running as much. I think. What's his name?
Hundley.
I think he threw a couple of passes in the first.
Todd Hundley's.
He threw.
I don't believe so.
He didn't throw a lot of passes.
He threw a couple passes in the first half. Like if Rodgers on the field, we probably never see Jones run for 70 yards in the first quarter. We definitely don't.
And Hundley was using his legs a lot more than his own.
So. Yeah, I don't think he was super impressive. He's going to have to take big steps just so that they can make the playoffs. And
the division's not that easy. Yeah, the Lions are good too.
You got a tough division. If the Bears are playing, if the Bears are able to beat good teams, not be a walkover.
Well, they
that's
come
what I'm saying.
close. They have close games. Yeah.
If they're not this walkover that they might have been, you're looking at a really tough division. You got Chris's Super Bowl team and the Vikings, who do look really good right now.
5-2.
You look really good right now.
Yeah.
Like you said, the lines are really good. This is tough. Sorry, Mark.
Yeah, I don't think that's
the
going to
Packers
happen.
are making it to the playoffs. I don't think they have a chance.
But I also do believe that I think there's a better chance than we might think, just because the NFL is very weird, strange. Weird teams are good. Weird teams win games out of nowhere. Like all of a sudden, the Saints too, another team. Their defense is unbelievable. Their cornerbacks are unbelievable. Marshawn Lattimore and the other guy, like they're playing great. Their defense is we've never seen the Saints have a good defense in our lifetime. I don't think in our entire lifetime we've ever seen the Saints have a good D. Now they're based on D and with Breeze, that makes that team so much better. So now that team's a powerhouse. Usually they're a team that could go 3-13 or they could go 13-3. They're all over the place, that team. So you never know who could be good, who could step up, who could go on a 4-game winning streak. Like
it's just amazing though. How many wins do you think Rodgers adds to the Packers over the replacement? If you did like a war, yeah. Is there a football war? I don't know if there is.
His has to be one of the highest.
His has to be the highest.
With Brady, him and
it
Brady.
might be like 8.
I'd say realistically 5.
Let's not forget that Castle made the playoffs the year that Brady was out.
They were 11-5, but they did not make the playoffs.
Oh, that's right. They were 11-5.
But they were
11-5.
They were 11-5.
Should be a
They
playoff
should have made the
team.
list.
Yeah.
So that's probably like 4 wins above place. They probably would have won 15 that year. I mean, how many games do you think, Phil, they win because of Rodgers?
I mean, Donnie said 5. I might even go 6.
Wow, that's
a lot.
I mean,
I guess you're trying to think of it. This team in 16 games and the Rodgers in 16 games. What do they win? I think it might be more than 6. I think 6 is underselling.
You got to wonder how like the first 5 picks of every NFL draft aren't quarterbacks, because it's all just people taking chances on guys that might just be like that. When you think about Rodgers got drafted at the end of the first round.
Yeah.
The problem is though with that,
2014,
it could happen that you could get a guy like this.
You definitely
later.
have a much better shot when you go after these great quarterbacks. But look at Breeze, look at Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning only won 1 with all those years with the Colts, and then he won 1 with Denver because their defense was unbelievable. But
you needed
he won 1 by himself, and Breeze all his years only won 1. So you're talking about great Hall of Fame legendary quarterbacks. It's very hard to win a Super Bowl.
Manning
you need a
was
lot.
Consistent greatness.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to finish with that, right? I guess Manning was
Manning was
that
consistent greatness.
Consistent greatness
that's
has come to an
the
end.
hot take. That's the hot take of tonight. Peyton Manning had consistent greatness.
Yes.
Oh,
but anyway,
Eli Manning.
Drew Brees, I mean.
Drew Brees did. But Manning's team always won 12 games. But anyway, okay, we're going to move on. I digress.
This guy
Sorry,
keeps
Mark.
falling. He's making
Sorry,
me
Mark.
mad.
I don't see it happening, Mark, all right?
Yeah, I don't see him, Mark.
Anyway, we're going to move on to our weekly now, Bridgeside Challenge. I really like this trivia format we've been going. Here we go. We got Donnie coming out. Thank you, just throwing the markers at me.
How many markers
we get one
do we
piece
need?
of paper?
Do you want a king size one? There you go. Chris, you want a king size or a
Maybe
regular?
we should have a couple pieces of paper so this doesn't seep through, the marker doesn't seep through.
We don't want to ruin the tablecloth.
Trying to look out for the table.
I don't understand. Explain to me.
I will explain it right now.
Okay, so now what we're going to do, we got the Bridgeside trivia going. We're going to get the papers going. Donnie's going to have the questions for us. We're going to get the questions on the screen.
Donnie has prepared the questions.
Donnie has prepared the questions.
I told you,
you're
not going to talk like that anymore.
He's going to pit all of us. He's going to pit all of us.
We have the World Series starting up tomorrow, so we went back to a World Series theme. It's going to be 6 questions. Each question you're going to get 15 seconds to answer, and then we're going to go over the answer per person like we've been doing over the last couple of weeks.
All right, very good.
So let's get started with an easy one. Give me 15 seconds on the clock.
I love it.
Paul or Animal?
This is an individual tournament?
Yep.
All right, very good.
We got no clock.
Give me 15
Donnie, you're just going to do the timer on your own? Let's get the question.
The clock will start after the question is
All right.
closed.
Thank you for the Yep. All right. So here's an easy one to start off. Which 2 current Major League franchises have never made it to the World Series? Please lock your answers in.
I can't think of the other one.
Oh, my God.
All right, here we go. We're going to start with Phil Kaggs.
I only got the Nationals. I couldn't think of the second one.
That is incorrect. Just because you didn't get both.
Yeah.
I also have just the Nationals.
And I have just the Pirates.
Pirates.
Just the Pirates.
The Pirates
I
made
guess you
it.
don't remember the 70s or 60s.
We are
none of you guys
family.
So none of
That
you
was
guys.
the easy one?
None of you guys are correct. It's the Mariners and the Nationals.
Oh, I had
The
the Mariners
Mariners.
written down and I crossed
But
them
you
out.
had the Pirates.
For
It
some
doesn't
reason,
matter.
Well, it doesn't matter. You would've got
And that
the
was
other
the
one wrong.
easy starter.
All right.
So
Oh, Jesus.
I was
Okay.
with Mike, the Nationals.
we're going to go over to number 2.
You said current franchise. All right.
Those are all
What
current.
don't you
franchises.
have?
Fairness have been contracted.
Who was the last Dodger to win the World Series MVP, and what year was it? Give me 15.
I hope spelling doesn't count. Oh, here we go.
Okay, here we go. We're going to start with Chris this time.
I don't know the year. Was it the pitch?
He doesn't know the guy either.
Fernanzuela? What was his name?
You combined it his first name and his
We're gonna go
last
with
name.
Mike
Fernando Venezuela.
Am I right about Fernando Venezuela?
We're going to go with Boo.
All right.
I'm going to go with Kirk Gibson. And what was it last time? What was it, 88 or whatever?
We're going to go with Philly Cags.
I'm going to go Oral Hershiser in 1988.
That is correct.
Boom. Hershiser.
So I got one. There we go. I can take a commanding 1-0 lead in this pathetic performance. By all of us,
Do I get a half credit? I got the year right?
No, you don't.
These are hard questions, dude.
Okay, we're going to go to number 3. Miguel Cabrera helped the Marlins win the World Series in 2003. How old was he? Give me 15.
Wow.
All right.
He was a young chap.
They didn't write it.
I wrote.
No, they didn't.
He was a young chap at the time.
And we're in.
One
Philly
out of time.
Cags, what do you got?
I got 23.
No.
Mike
Boo.
No. I said 19.
Me too. Said 19.
You're all incorrect again.
Oh,
It's
he's
the answer
20?
is 20.
Oh,
I
come
was
on,
going to
dude.
write 20,
We
bro.
were so close. Would he
Not
come
a
in the
good week
league
for
when he was
trivia.
19? Probably came in the
Dodged
league when
the
he was
bullet.
19.
All right,
He was
but
probably 19.
you know what?
He was probably 19 during some part of that
Yes,
season.
he definitely was.
I
He
gave-
definitely
That's
was.
important.
No, he came up at the age of 20. I read it. Sorry.
Okay, his real age.
come
was,
on.
His
All right,
real
we gotta
age was
move on.
definitely
We have
23.
to move on.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, so I gave you an easy one to split it up. The last team to repeat as World Series champions in the year. They won, then they won the next year's repeat.
Okay, you want both years?
Of course I do, yes. Let's get it going.
Go Bridgeside.
All right, we got the answers locked in. We're going to go to Chris this time to start.
Yankees 99-2000?
Mike?
You are correct.
Oh, no. It's all right. Mike, you go.
Red Sox didn't win 2 years in a row.
I said the Red Sox.
I got the
could've
Yankees
thought
as
they won
well.
2 years in a
98,
row.
99, and 2000.
Well,
Very good.
2
Well,
years.
it was 99,
I know.
2000. It doesn't.
Okay.
last.
So we got Chris and I got that.
I'm eliminated.
Yep.
One more?
All right, so we'll go to number 5, the final trivia question.
You said 6. All right.
6 is the tiebreaker.
No, I was told to cut.
We're running too low. Come on, we got to go 5.
The Yankees defeated the Mets in the 2000 Subway Series. Who played in the previous Subway Series, and what year was it?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's going way back.
I think I know this one. Don't cheat.
There were many Subway Series back in the day.
Well,
Who?
the previous one before that.
Who are we starting with?
Can this be worth 3
We're gonna
points?
start
We're
with
going
Phil.
one at a time. I'm going to go 1956. I'm going to go the Yankees and the Brooklyn Dodgers.
I'm going Yankees, Dodgers 55.
I'm going Cardinals Royals in the 80s. I don't know what year.
I think we were talking Subway. I don't even know if they have the Subway.
It's certainly not that answer. Phil is correct. 56 Dodgers, Yankees over the
Don
Dodgers.
Lawson.
I like just
Don
barely
Lawson.
got every single question
Don Lawson
wrong,
pitched the
except
perfect
Red
game in
Sox one.
1956, man.
Don Lawson.
Okay,
you guys.
That's
I win
trivia for
again.
this week.
Obviously, the individual champion 2 straight weeks.
Nice.
I wasn't here last week.
Well, I won. I still won last week, so it doesn't matter whether
D1.
you're here or not. I won.
matters to me.
So there's only...
All right, guys, that was the successful trivia win for me. Again, we're going to move right on to
Yeah, we
question
heard.
of the
You
week.
said it 3 times. All right, what we got next?
Okay, we're going. The question of the week, folks. We got the NBA season just started. We talked about the Warriors last week on whether anyone was going to be able to beat them. So I want to ask, will there ever be another dynasty quite like the Bulls in the 90s? Will there ever be another one like that? Will anyone ever reach that level that the Bulls, they won 6 titles in 8 years? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go to Mike first. Will there ever be another one like that?
So, I mean, that's the key, right? 6 and 8 years. And you realize how dominant they are, but then when you hear that is really amazing. It's very hard, even though I think the Warriors are a better team, it's just hard to win 6 championships in 8 years. But I would not put it past the Warriors because I think they have more talent on their team than the Bulls did. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, they've got 2 in a row. I think they're going to make at least 7 out of the next 8 finals. LeBron's getting older, so if somebody else comes up in the East to kind of contend, otherwise this team is just going to continue being a powerhouse that withstands any other, lives longer than any of these other teams that are built right now. The Cavs are going to go, they'll be gone in a couple of years, really, when you think about it. So I think as the competition regresses a little bit, even though it doesn't seem like there's a lot of competition in the NBA right now, but I think that it's very possible that they will win 6 or 7 out of the next 8 titles.
All right, so the Warriors are 2 out of 3 already.
Right. No, well, we could say...
Yeah. Right?
Oh, yeah, 2 out of 3.
Yeah, they got 2 out of 3. Made it 3 straight times, and they lost 2. So already they got a knock on the Bulls. Dynasty, we're talking about the Bulls never lost the finals. They didn't make the finals for 2 years, so
isn't it more impressive to lose the finals?
That's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm saying. It kind of comes out to the same thing.
Right.
So 2 out of 3 years. So that's what we're looking at. And realistically, the Bulls could have won 8 straight. Jordan left to go play baseball for 2 years, and then just came back and won 3 more. But you got 2 out of 3. So
you got Tebow?
So you got 1 more year that the Warriors. That's not a lot of room for margin of error. They need to win. Was it 4 out of the next 5? Is that what it is? Mm-hmm. 4 out of the next 5. I mean, not that they can't do it, but their team is their team is stacked. Let's not trivialize how hard it is to win 4 out of 5 titles in the NBA.
It's a different NBA.
I do. The biggest thing that Mike said, which is right, their biggest competition right now is going to regress before they do.
Yeah.
The Cavs will regress before the Warriors do. But
I don't necessarily think that's the biggest competition, though. I mean, it's a competition in the finals.
So who is?
Yeah. So who is?
A team like Oklahoma City Thunder or...
George is on a 1-year contract. Who knows if he's going to re-sign with them?
We'll see what happens. But that team's going to keep, trying to rebuild and fight Golden State for that top spot. And then, like teams like the T-Wolves and stuff, like they're up and coming. Who knows in 2 or 3 years what they look like with Karl Anthony Towns and whoever else they got in there. Andrew Wiggins.
Here's the one thing I'll say. The Warriors, they have guys on rookie contracts in Thompson and Green. They got Durant to the big contract, who took a little less, and they got Curry to the supermax contract. They're going to have to make a decision, I believe, to keep Green or Thompson. I don't think they can keep both. Will they suffer if they lose one of them? Will they be this super... Will they still be head and shoulders above everyone?
Yeah.
Even... They can't be head and shoulders the way they are now. There's got to be people coming. Maybe the Thunder will be a lot closer to them if they lose Thompson.
I said this last year. This team right now is built about as close to a perfect team as you could ever imagine. In terms of just defense and just light them up, offense, shooting, everything. Mm-hmm. I think that even if they lost one of those pieces, they're still head and shoulders above everybody else. Yeah. I really do.
Donnie, I thought you were going to chime in. If you put your hand up, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think they will just because of the salary cap and whatnot and the situation with the movement of the star players nowadays. I feel some other teams will build up, like OKC maybe, but I think that they will have to drop one of their pieces, and it'll at least bring them down to everybody else's level where maybe they'll lose.
But then you see these guys come. People they'll take less money to come play, even if it's kind of an aging superstar. It'll get replaced very easily. I'm not saying it'll be as good a quality of player, but it seems to be in the NBA now. There's all these aging superstars just want to come and play for these teams that can get them a ring.
But how
like
long?
Makes it a lot easier.
So they're doing that for the Warriors now. They're doing that for the Cavs now. How many years until they start doing that for other teams with other younger stars? What's to stop somebody eventually from coming to play with the Bucks with their young stars just because they're ready now?
The Bucks are going to have to make the championship first.
No, agreed, but I'm saying that's knocking on the door any year. I'm saying
we don't know that's knocking on the door. Well, the only thing we know that's knocking on the door is the Warriors making the finals. So if you're an aging superstar, you don't know if the Bucks are going to end up in the finals. There's no reason to believe they will be.
How many more years do you consider that the Cavs are going to make the finals in a row? How many years?
Maybe a couple, 2 or 3.
I think 2's a stretch, but okay.
Yeah, I think 2
yeah,
is a lot.
As long as LeBron's there, I mean, it doesn't.
Well, he's got to be there next year.
Maybe he'll
That's
be
gonna
that
the
aging
big thing.
superstar that
goes
joins
to the
Bucks.
Warriors.
No, imagine he goes to the Warriors.
Goes to the Bucks with Giannis.
I think the bigger
with the
dynasty.
Bucks,
I think the
man.
biggest dynasty now is player dynasties. Like LeBron has his own dynasty. He just goes from team to team and makes the finals.
Yeah, he makes a dynasty.
You know, he makes his own dynasty. The Warriors, if Durant left, he'd make his own. You know what
I think the Warriors.
I'll give you the last point here.
Overall, that team is just so stacked that I don't think I think he's right. Like, it's very reasonable to think that they're going to win 4 out of the next 5. I really think they can do that, and I even think that they could be one of those franchises. Maybe they don't win 4 out of 5. Maybe they win 3 out of the next 5, but then they win another 2 later on and become one of those long-lasting
That's true.
dynasties.
Then it'll have to be a different conversation. I don't think they'll make the 6 out of 8. I think they'll come really close, but they definitely could.
Tough.
They definitely can. I can't rule it out. But you're right. They could retool and come back later, like the Spurs kind of stretched out their 5 titles.
Yes, the Spurs stretched out. So.
But I think that's the final point we have for question of the week. I think great show, guys.
We didn't talk Islanders again. I even wore the jersey.
Well, you know what? We ran out of time on Islanders yet again. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. Just like Jimmy Kimmel runs out of time for Matt Damon, we ran out of time for the New York Islanders. Always tune in tomorrow, as always, for Bridgeside Live at 9 p.m. We got Command Z. We got another great show for you guys in the studio, as always. I want to thank everyone for watching. We'll see you next week, and have a great week, guys.
Go Wiles.
Two draws?
4-3-1, maybe? Maybe they're 4-3-1.
One draw?
Yeah, no, one overtime ball.